Good morning. So, Erika Cole, the church attorney, here with another walk and talk. First of all, happy Black History Month, and thanks for all of you who may not be a part of the African American community, but you're celebrating with us. We are happy to be able to share our joys, all of the accomplishments of our community, and look to you for your companionship and support, even through the challenges. So I want to hop into this morning's walk and talk, which is about the fact that you can't thrive as a church, as a nonprofit, without a thriving board. I know that many churches may have the motto this year, which I love, Thrive in 2025. And sorry, I'm getting my glove on here. Whew. Because it is cold. It's below freezing again this morning. So thriving in 2025, and every nonprofit, every tax exempt organization, that certainly includes churches, is required to have a board. So I want to mention three things about why having a functional board, a thriving board, is a key part to a thriving organization. So first, let me just sort of outline what a board is, I think, so that we're all on the same heart and mind as we're having this discussion. I use the term board to reflect the governing board of the organization. And the governing board is sometimes known as the board of trustees, sometimes the board of directors. Some churches, it's called the elder board, the board of elders, whatever your church may call it. Every state has specifications, which we would also call statutory law, that outlines the requirements on the most basic sense of being on the board. Sometimes it has an age requirement, a number requirement, i.e. how many people, the minimum number of people you have to have on the board, things like that. So I call those matters of board composition, who's going to be making up the board. So that leads me into point number one. The first reason why you want to make sure that you have a functional board in order to be a thriving church and organization is that the board is there to help with fulfilling the vision of the ministry. I know that it can be difficult. It's one of those harsh realities, I guess. Sometimes the battles that we see between the senior leader or the pastor and the board, there can be this unfortunate tug of war. But really, if things are operating ideally, the board is there to help fulfill that pastoral vision, not antagonize the vision. So the first reason why you want to have a thriving board is there's a saying that says, many hands make for light work. So you're adding hands from that strategic work that is to be done in ministry. The pastor, I believe God gives pastoral vision, but God doesn't expect the pastor to do it all. The board is really that first layer of protection and support for that pastoral vision. I was reading this morning, I'm doing the devotional that's a read through the Bible in a year. So I'm in Exodus for the Old Testament part. And I read this morning about Moses. You know, the people have left Egypt. And, it's the part where the people are murmuring because they don't have water, which is legit. I get that. And God tells Moses to take the same rod that he used. And I didn't realize this, actually. I know this story, but I didn't realize that God commanded him to take that same rod that he used to throw down to defy the magicians in the land and etc. Take that ride. There was a battle that was happening with the Israelites, and he said, to hold, as long as your arms, your hands are held up, your arms are up. Good morning. Then he was winning. The Israelites were winning. Bottom line is he couldn't do it alone. There were two men on either side of him that helped him hold his arms up, and I believe that's the strength of a solid board. Can't thrive alone. Not really. Not as an organization. You don't want it to be a one-man show. You want the pastor to be revered, but not made to be deity, right? He can't do it by himself or herself. All right. Second point of why you need to have a strong board, really to thrive. The second reason is because the board will not only help you with your vision, as I mentioned in number one, but number two, helping to finance that vision. That's really key. So most of the time in the law for churches, it's called a board of trustees. Again, as I've already established, you may call it something different, but that's often how we'll find it in the law. And that word trustee really comes from people who are entrusted. They are entrusted with the resources of the church. So you want to make sure that you have people who are helping to fund this vision. So they not only help you strengthen your arms as you move forward with the vision as a leader, but you got to have money to fulfill the vision. And the board is meant to help ensure the financial stability of the organization. They should be helping with budgeting. You can also have a finance team, but the financial oversight and the oversight of the assets of the church in general, that's going to be with your board. So that's the second big purpose that they have. The third big reason why you need to have a thriving board, to have a thriving organization, is because these are going to be people that ideally have additional skill sets. You want to make sure that your board is not only composed of, the minimum number of people that need to be on the board, the age requirement and all of that, but you want to give strong consideration around the capabilities of the people on the board. One of the smartest things I think leaders can do is surround themselves with people who have skill sets that maybe they don't have, right? So if you, as the senior leader, I know that my pastor talks about the fact that, he has really strong people that help with the fiscal part. And thank God our church is really thriving and doesn't have any mortgage, doesn't have any debt at our campus, really has the ability to dream big. But that's because of his wisdom to also surround himself with people that who have the skills that he may not have. And a part of that is knowing as a leader, what skills do you have and what skills do you need to have other people fill in the gap. Some of that may be also not just personality, not just matters of let me say it in the positive. It may also just be people who have certain skills in their work, right? So maybe you are looking for those professionals who have unique skills that they're willing to serve on the board. So those are the three reasons why having a thriving board is key to having a thriving church, ministry, nonprofit. So hope you enjoyed that, and have a fantastic rest of the day. Bye.